Yeah, okay, now we're live. I don't know what did that. There's a server. It says server failed to connect. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Tuck. Hopefully, you caught the first live stream of the day. That was Tuck. He also put it on his channel over there. He's got more of a much bigger video. I mean, I had two screens going, so um, but if you want to check it out, you want to, you can go on over there. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
If you're gonna subscribe, understand I talk about homelessness, so that will be what comes up in your feed most of the time. So if this video was a complimentary thing for my audience and to help out paranoid. So if you're into homeless content, subscribe. But if not, just watch the video. It's all good.
I mean, subscribe. I mean, I'm having a slow trickle effect on them. Uh,
Yeah, but I learned a long time ago, if you just get random subscribers, they kind of they generally don't come back. But if you get people that show up with intent, those are the people that generally come back, and then that makes it easier to get views on videos and stuff like that.
I mean, me personally, I like to have like a wide range of things that way because I mean, my interests are not like when it comes to like YouTube or Facebook or groups or whatever. I mean, yeah, I don't watch the same stuff every day. If I'm not working, I don't watch the same stuff every day. I watch different things, and I mean, I don't want to like if I don't like to feel dependent. I mean, like anybody that's on here that feels dependent, like they must watch one of my streams. I don't want you to do that. I want you to watch the stream because you know you like to. If, I mean, the same way. You know, I enjoy your presence. I enjoy your comments, but you don't want to be here. That's cool too. But
Yeah. Well, no, I have an open dialogue. Like that's why you suggesting that I do some off-topic things every once in a while. Yeah, that's why because I talk about history. I go off topic. I don't always talk about homelessness, but that's my primary topic. That's like 80% of the content you're gonna see.
I guess what I'm saying is I don't think that. I mean, that's fine too. I mean, I don't think that like one person should be the your go-to. You know, I mean that's the attitude for like a lot of people when I started watching like Mr. Beast and those other things. That
Uh-huh.
become their go-to for that type of entertainment. And then there was plenty of other stuff like that online. But you know,
There's
some
really not a lot of what I do online, and at least not in the style and the amount of detail. Like Mark Horvath, which is like he's got 400,000 subscribers. He's got like 1.5 million across all platforms. Like he's the guy that I'm competing with, and all he is an activist who's too busy going poor homeless guy, and doing sob stories and interviews with sob stories. So like I get into nuts, bolts, policy, all that stuff. So I kind of want to be the go-to when it comes to understanding, homeless policy and how to survive, homelessness. Because a lot of people resonate with me because I don't have the addiction, and neither do they,
yeah,
and they want to
but
see how to live that
you
way.
know, you need I mean, like I said, I still think you need like a wide range of stuff so you can appeal to different people who kind of like channel skip, channel surf, stuff like that. Channel surfing's fun, especially in today's age. If we get another pandemic or lockdown, people will love channel surf. Um, now, I mean, that's what I'm saying is, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I had poured my cup of coffee. Um, damn it, I lost it. It fell out of my head. Just fell straight out of my head.
Don't worry, it happens to
Jesus.
me all the time.
I think my medication hit me. And I got like all kinds of like unstable network things here. What the hell is going on? I mean, it's still running fine. It looks like. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it requires a lot of bandwidth for what you're doing, so it's probably not optimum. So it's just talking about packet loss
Baloney,
here and there.
baloney. I got enough bandwidth. I have the most freaking expensive Xfinity package just for this. Well, some of the other stuff I used to do, but I mean, but yeah, we have the most expensive Xfinity thing. When people ask me what my cable bill is. I tell them we have cable included, but that's not what we have it for. And I tell them what we actually pay for internet. Their bottom mouth drops. I mean, it's a big difference when you're paying $20 a month and somebody like me is paying $200 a month.
200 a month's still pretty cheap.
Yeah, I mean yeah, but we're still. I mean, actually, we're still on some of the deals. I mean, ours will go up. I mean, it will go up astronomically, and then that will probably be the time I change. But um, I'll let everybody know though if I'm getting ready to change to some type of. I don't want bright speed. Now, I like out.
You don't have Roadrunner out there?
No, no. There, I mean, we have Google and we have well, Google is coming. I mean,
What
Google's
about
here.
Fios?
No, we have Brightspeed. It's a 1 gigabyte
Cable
fiber
company.
line. Yeah, no, it's fiber. Um, we're on cable system, but it's got like a whole bunch of other additives and stuff like that. And I mean, we always have constant speeds. But Google just dropped a fiber line or a fiber cable out one of the back roads out here, and they're running it up through the country. We think they're getting ready to put a data center up there, so we actually might be able to. Normally, we get like a notice or something, and we can tack on to the Google line, and that happens. I'm all good. I mean, yeah. I mean, for what we pay a month, we'll get.
You'll take the mark.
Oh yeah, yeah. Plus, I mean, we'll have speeds like, whatever the max home speeds can be on there. I mean, it'd be a lot faster than what we already have.
You should be looking into business because it gives you priority. Like you shouldn't be doing this in residential. You should be.
Oh,
doing
I
this
mean,
in
we are
business.
no, we have a special modified contract with them. I mean, if I lose time if I'm supposed to be, like I kind of schedule my streams around 8 o'clock, or if I'm doing something else, if
Uh,
if 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 at any fault of them, like if they don't put a line up, and I mean if there's an outage and they have to
kind
go,
of like you had the other night.
yeah. Now that one's different, but someone hit the pole, but they got it back up in an ample amount of time. Now if they kept me offline for like 3 days, my contract stipulates that they will owe me X amount of dollars per day, and they don't want to keep me offline because, I mean, we went back and forth with the contract. I mean, like I said, it's um,
Well, so you actually negotiated with the company. That's rare.
you can negotiate with any company. What you do is when you're like this, we're going to say credit card, for example, here, or a loan. You'll get a contract. You always get a contract. Now, sometimes the online credit cards, you'll get an online contract. What you do is you print that out. There's an address on the bottom of it where you can sign. And what you do, you go on there and you take another piece of paper, unless there's room, and you write in what you require to be one of their customers, on the addition of it. I mean, you do that with any contract. That is just law. You go on there and write. Say, I
Yeah, but
want.
usually you're trying to take things out of the contract, not put it
No,
in.
no, don't worry about going through and taking stuff out of the contract unless it's something that's going to do some crazy fault or harm to you. Don't try to modify the way they do payments. Don't try to modify anything like that.
No, it's
But but
more
but but
like,
but if you want,
ownership and
but
rights.
but but if you want some kind of user protection, if you want to be able to be protected, that if the internet goes out, or on if you were to, like on a credit card, let's say you put on there, if my credit card gets stolen, I report it, and someone goes, max it out. I'm not going to be held responsible for that. My credit's not going to take hits for that. If it does, then you owe me X amount of dollars. You always put that in there. That is the
Yeah,
thing. That
that's
that
the
is the
counter
thing. Yeah,
offer.
that is the thing that corporations hate when they're.
Yeah, I'm well versed in the art of contracting. I just never tried it at that level.
Yeah. Somebody showed me that. It's worked for me every time. And then sometimes you talk to them on the telephone. Other times they'll just sign it and you're good to go. Um, you know, it just depends, but that's the best way to do it. They'll have to approve it. Sometimes it'll take a little longer to happen, but other times it won't. But yeah, like I said, I hope you did watch the David Grush thing. It was interesting, I guess.
Oh, it's hour 2 on the. It's you have to fast forward an hour if you want to get to that. Otherwise, we got other shit going on in the background.
Yeah, well, I
So
mean, I
if
don't
you
know. They
watch it
might
on
find it
mine,
interesting. It is what it is. But I mean, there's some other stuff. Tuck asked dude a question straight off the bat. I don't think he realized he was being live though. I don't think that you think he realized he's being recorded.
he saw the phone, so and the way I was holding it, so he knew he was at least being recorded. That's why he came over.
Well, all right. How do you hold your phone?
I hold it like it's sideways, so I just kind of hold it. Yeah,
I mean, are you
like I
do you have the phone up like a prim and proper sissy that holds a cup, or do you hold the phone and point it at the direction of the crowd that's say about 3 feet away from your chest?
um I don't never I don't I'm not doing it on a professional level. I do it like anybody else would do it. Yeah, I guess you call it like a sissy.
Yep. I do it too. Don't I mean it ain't no big deal. I mean that is just the best terminology for me to use because if you now that you know I said that and when you watch other people
Yeah,
you
I
you,
know.
you can't unsee it. I mean literally you just can't
Well,
unsee it.
dude, yeah. I saw. Oh, I got to talk to the Gaia dude. That did you hear all that conversation?
I did.
What'd you think?
I mean he's like I said he views it the way most people do. They think that they think that if they can keep them doing this and keep them active and keep them pushing stuff and keep them saying things that there will be um, some form of disclosure. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. He liked my point. I was actually kind of surprised. I figured usually I get shot down like, yeah, it's not possible. But this guy, he actually, you know what? I didn't really think of that. That's possible. The fact that they're bringing it out so that they can show where they actually got these futuristic weapons from.
I mean, it would be a good idea if they did. I don't, if there is some kind of, I think they're using it. I think they've been using them and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't foresee them bringing out the weapons. I mean, unless you're categorizing the actual vehicles as weapons, then
Yes,
okay. Well, I don't characterize them as weapons. Those are more like
because we don't know if they're weaponized.
yeah, we don't. I mean, I'm sure they are.
Didn't what's his name? The apparently, according to Meyer, the guy was a fraud. The guy that came out of what is it? Not White Sands. The dude that said that he was working on reverse engineering and shit.
A lot
He
of
was a
yeah, I
big
know.
guy. He
No,
came from Area 51. I forget what his name was.
he just had a movie.
It wasn't Greer,
No, he just had a movie.
huh?
Yeah. I know you're talking about. He just had a movie.
Yeah, now all of a sudden he's a folk hero. Before he was, I'm this, I'm that. Apparently that was not real, but I don't know. I
I mean,
mean,
he did
I
he was right about a lot of stuff. Now he was one of the things that gets me. All the rest of it can be bullshit, but what he was right about was something that would have been impossible to know, and that was he knew about the element because we didn't find the element until like way later on, and um, we didn't even know it existed. Didn't even know there was going to be a thing for it, and oh yeah. So I mean, we found that element, and that verified that portion of his story, which kind of verifies the rest of it because it's built around
but
that element.
what if it's a psyop? What if it's a the thing is they wanted this to come down this way, something that like nobody knows to give them the credence, so that
I
they could
mean,
do the whole
normally, I
misinformation.
would, I would, I would, I would say maybe, but this has been way too long in the making for that kind of thing. A lot of people like to say, okay, it's a psyop or it's Project Bluebeam or the government's going to do this. Well, here's my argument to that, and you know, they've been doing this for a very long time now. Unless they were planning a takeover, Project Bluebeam, all these other stuff before Roswell crash, then, you know, like back in the times of the Romans, then, you know, I don't think they're fake because there's historical data that goes back. I was actually prepared for this. There's historical data that goes back. They're called sky omens. And when it comes to UFOs, you have, there's a Babylonian tablet, first millennial BC. This is the earliest known recording of a potential UFO sighting, describing changes of sky shapes, black meteors interpreted as religious harbingers, star divination systems, you know. And these weren't,
Well, even
these
Alexander the
weren't,
Great and the shield in the sky.
but this kind of tablet here, you know, I need to emphasize this. I don't want this to get lost. This kind of tablet, the Sumerians and the Babylonians. So, like, when something was going on, when they were talking about something or whatever, they would hammer out one of these tablets. Now, this wasn't something they just tossed in the back room. This was this was like our president's daily report. You know, you know, the president gets a report, a folder on his desk, and it shows him everything that's going on. Well, the Sumerians, when they thought these things were coming, or when they thought they saw them in the air and stuff, this went to the king. This went on his daily report. And to be honest with you, that's what our president probably sees, and every other president on earth, or president woman, or whatever you call them, dictators and whatever. But, you know, they have these reports that come in, the daily briefing. And this is the kind of stuff they talk about. So, you know, they have talked about aliens more than once or twice or 3 or 4 or 5 times. I would give anything to see the president's black book.
From what I understand, the president, since Carter was the last one they told, and he almost got snuffed out for it.
Well, I mean, that's told. That is a full walk in on the programs and stuff like that. However, the president would have had to have. He would. I mean, that's the reason why, you know, you had Trump and Biden going after those balloons and stuff, and while we had all of that activity going on. I mean, you know, they were getting these reports that there was these objects that it was in our airspace. They still are, by the way, and they were trying to take them down. And they were taking them down for reasons. Now there's a new cover story where they said that the F-14 that took the object down up in Canada, it was a Boy Scout balloon. Well, they still yet to provide that, in my opinion. So we basically have another Roswell. But yeah, so I mean, you know, this is an ongoing thing, and I'm pretty sure he receives reports every day. If there is some kind of report, if something shows up, you know, when they saw the balloon, you know, the president had a report on it. So if they think there's somebody's talking about aliens, or if
Biden never saw that fucking report. Somebody else did.
Oh yeah, he's blind. I mean, hell, the Vikings would time their raids to the sighting of what they called flying dragons. So apparently there was something in the sky that showed them the way to do these raids. And they did a lot of raids. You know, this was way back 783 before Christ. And there is a thing called the sky anchor. There's a ship that appeared in the sky over a church in Ireland with a rope and an anchor hanging from it. A crew member descends as if he was swimming through the air and was nearly seized by the congregation. He was released by the bishop for fear that it might kill him. This is a recorded event. And the reason I bring this up is because there's, like I said, a lot of people try to say that these things might be fake. It is really hard to argue this because way back when, and like I said, we're going way back before Roswell, in America during the 18th century, there was reports of a similar story like the sky anchor A big balloon flying through the sky. And people's actually found artifacts. Like that don't make sense. They found a ranch. They had some weird stuff on it. Um,
Um,
people thought they were like time travelers or some country figured out how to do sky balloons, and this was before we could fly. One of the weirdest ones, well, two of the weirdest ones. Right before the Black Plague, there were men that was dressed up like the plague doctors, or all in black, and they were all in a field with a scythe, cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. This was reported by multiple people. Multiple people. They even drew a picture. They even painted a picture of it. And there was people there that said that they were coming to harvest. And this is, they harvest through death and pain and misery. If you haven't really at least thought about it one time, we might actually be their food in some degree.
No,
I don't know, man.
I don't think so. Maybe, you know what? If there's, according to the Blake theory, it is possible. According to the law of averages, it's possible. But it would probably be one spacefaring race, and we probably most likely we haven't met them yet. Um, the anal probes and all that other stuff, and like the abductions. We have ways to be able to mess with the mind
The other
so that
day,
we could take our own contraptions and make it seem like it was an alien abduction.
well, I'm working on another story that has to do with the Gate Project, and the Gate Project is where they used to do those hearing tests and stuff on you in the school. And apparently they were governmentally funded, and they were looking for specific types of children. Some of those children are the ones that actually went into Project Stargate. Um, it is a wild rabbit hole. I mean, I actually thought about trying to get one of the machines. I found one, and that they used to use in the schools, and try to replicate the experiment they were talking about was happening. Now this is during hearing test. Um, I always felt weird after the hearing test. I did, but I don't know. Um, let's see. Now we got. I'm not ready to get into that story just yet.
So, what was the hearing test a way to unlock your brain?
Well, there's like 3 stages, 4 stages of it. One of them was to make you like a hypnotic state. The other ones were to help your mind be active and compliant. And it's all about control. And I mean, you had to reach a certain point before you could remote view, apparently. But I mean, there's literally documented shit on this, more than I actually thought there was, and that's concerning. Um, and what it is, it's a change in frequency. Like you play one frequency in one ear and you play another frequency in another ear at the same time. Like you were at the hearing test in the schools, and it would cause this reaction or whatever, something that would be noticeable or seen. Like some kids would click it faster, some kids would click it slower, do other things. You know, I mean, you notice that in school they always kind of like moved them and kind of like isolated them and stuff. They don't do that no more.
No, I never really paid attention to that shit when I was young.
I mean, they really don't do that anymore. I mean, if you go to like the special needs classes in these states and stuff, most of them are filled full of autistic people. Like I said, something has changed. Something has caused. Um,
It's Tylenol.
no, it ain't Tylenol.
It's Tylenol.
No, it's. I think it's an evolutionary standard. I think this is where we're headed. I mean,
I could see that.
I mean,
And go ahead.
oh, you're fine. I'm just saying. I think it's an evolutionary standard. I mean, you can literally verify it. Um, You can argue it. I mean, and that that scares a lot of people because they see that autism is the next step of evolution, and they don't see how the ones with worst cases can survive in a society, and then there's other ones that are just scared of it altogether. And we were taught that generation by generation to be scared of certain things. And but if you look around now, there's more autistic people than it is just an insane number. And I mean, if you autistic kids and people, they're some of the most brilliant people in the world. They focus entirely on one subject or two subjects or whatever, and the rest is static. So they're extremely smart, operational little machines. And now that's bad if they need to do something. They need to do something else, or they need to do whatever. But, uh, but
Can I offer you an alternative?
sure.
Some okay. No, I don't. I'll just put it out. Okay, so let's just say that reincarnation is real. Okay, so that means that there's a certain amount of spirits that are in the other world. There are a certain amount of spirits down here, and so they're rotating back and forth. Well, if you have a population boom, what happens is all those spirits in waiting start start getting less time to rehab and keep coming down here quicker. So, in order to balance out or rectify it, whatever creational force that gives us the spirit that animates us to begin with creates more. And those are at the bottom of the evolutionary chain. That's why we're starting to see like a lot of like Down syndrome or
I mean,
like primitive behavior and stuff like that.
I heard this before. I mean, this is what the Cathars believe. Um, the Cathars. Now, I'm sure there's other people and other things that have repeated it or said it, but it originally come from the Cathars. Um,
Who are they?
they're the ones that the Catholic Church tried to burn and execute and call them witches. When they, when you hear someone says, "good man, good woman," or what's that other phrase? Uh, good Christian or good
Hmm.
or anything along those lines. All of those quotes and stuff come from them. That's who they come
Oh,
from.
kind of like
But but
bless
they
you.
but they don't believe now. They don't believe the way other people believe. They believe solely and actually during the Germany occupation, Nazis and everything else. See, they were already long gone before then. I mean, by the time World War II started. But Hitler, well, kinda. There's a few still around. Um, but Hitler was obsessed with them, studied them, went to their old castles. That they did churches in like caves and stuff, and he thought that they were the ones that had the Holy Grail. And there's this whole thing about where they went around to the different fortresses of the Cathars and the stuff they found, and it's wild. It is. But yeah,
Like what they find.
they found evidence that there was an actual cup, or at least they were worshiping one. I don't know everything that's in there. Like I said, there's miles and miles and miles of this. It goes into the authoring uh, things about Knights of the Round Table and everything else. All of this was like code, and it even goes into the Knights Templars. I mean, it is a catastrophic mess of people hiding one thing after another. I mean,
Hoarders.
huh?
Hoarders.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, these were people who didn't want to talk about it. And especially after what the Catholic Church did to them. I mean, like I said, they literally burned them. I mean, in the open, and they just had a different view, but it was almost the same. They just believed that we were basically recycled, and if we didn't do everything and that we had to do everything good, then there's no way we can ascend. And um,
Yeah, you can't do it in one lifetime. It makes
yeah,
no.
yeah, you got to learn.
It makes.
You got to
Yeah,
learn. I mean,
and that's why I was able to accept reincarnation because I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Because like, how can I get it right in one lifetime? You get one shot. Like it's like basically you go from kindergarten to the big leagues, and you got to get it right the first time.
I mean, I look at it kind of like, I mean, the way I've always looked at life, we get into like reincarnation and stuff, that we're more like a circle. Um, and I guess
Hmm.
I guess you can say it's reincarnation, or you can say it's some type of
Rebirth process.
rebirth. I don't know exactly how to put it there, but because the way this belief works is that everything we're doing now we will do again. Everything that's happened will happen again. This is the hell of man. We are in the circle, the cycle, and we will keep going around and around and around and around and around and around again. You know, I don't know when it starts and I don't know when it stops, but I do believe we're in some type of circle. I know this was a snapshot in time. The humans were so dangerous. We're so um, dangerous to the universe that we were put into a prison, and that's our prison. We're in this circle. We're in this constant circle of the same things over and over and over again. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's the way I believe. I don't know.
Would you mind if I told my point of view?
Absolutely, as long as yeah, go ahead.
um. Okay. So I the way that I see it is that you have to. Okay. So yeah, spirit. Kabbalah is probably one of the best explanations. You start off with creation. You devolve. You come through the veil. You do multiple reincarnations, and then you cycle back up, and it's a never-ending cycle like that because it's the continuous evolution. Creation itself evolves, and you were just a piece of that evolution, and because you cannot reach that level, so this is kind of how you keep going up. I believe in some way, in that sense, as far as like how the whole setup is. But from my understanding and what I've experienced in life, I think you have to experience everything from every angle. And it takes so many lifetimes to do it. Let's say 1 billion years worth of lifetimes to actually do something like that. But once you've experienced everything in the physical, you no longer need the flesh, and you go into the metaphysical, and you start to transcend. So one of the things that was said in the press conference today was that there was translucid uh, beings that were, which would mean that they were metaphysical or part metaphysical. So they were kind of like half in, half out. They were evolving out of the physical realm. And I think that that's the way that all humans will go. But that right there, to me, I was like, okay, cool. Now that kind of backs up that belief of that, because there are other civilizations that we've met that have done the same thing. But this is why, and the thing is you got to look at everything in life as a lesson, because what you do to others, others do to you. So when you do something to somebody and you don't really think about it, but then when it gets done to you, you're like, man, I hate it. Instead of being a dick to the person, the lesson is to realize that you did that to another person. So now you've experienced both being the aggressor and the victim. So now you understand both sides of the coin, and it's not so cut and dry.
Where
And
were
so
you?
therefore,
Where were you born?
I'm a Pisces.
No, no, no. I mean, I guess for everything. How old are you? Were you
I'm
born in?
45.
So will that put you in the 80s?
I was born just about a few weeks after Reagan was inaugurated.
Okay. Now they say now there's something weird that I found out the other day. On your left arm, do you see two moles that are basically in a straight line, one on the lower side and one on the upper side?
No, I don't have any moles.
Got any moles? Okay. You're not
Well,
one
I
of the
do,
big.
but it's on my back.
Oh, I got them on back too. But no, this if apparently kids or people who were born in the 80s all have the same moles, and The other people I asked them, absolutely. Um,
Oh,
I don't know that was just those are like one of those weird factoids that popped up, and I don't know what caused it. But I mean, yeah, they got the same basic mole. They got a mole from one point of their, I mean, on their arm from the bottom to the top. I mean, it's like about a hand's length, but it's there. Um, I figured maybe I can't remember how old you was.
yeah. I ain't as old as you, but I'm getting up there.
Yeah,
I'm getting long in the tooth.
you won't like it when you get here. Oh,
No, I probably won't. You know what? I loved when I turned 30, it was like all of a sudden a switch flipped in my brain and I saw the whole world different. And then when I hit 40, it was kind of like I got my swagger and my confidence because I'd done a lot of shit in my fucking 30s. But like I've never really had that whole like thought change like I did. So I'm wondering what my 50s are going to be like because I'm already starting to feel my body and I'm starting to go, oh, I don't think I want to walk this far today.
no, I mean once you get to about 47, 46, 47, somewhere in there, you start seeing this cycle go down, and by the time you get to 50, well, by the time you get to 49, you're going to be like, yep, I can't do the things I used to do anymore. I can't do other stuff. I mean, hell, you find it hard to get in and out of the bathtub. I mean, that's how bad it is
Oh
sometimes.
God.
Yeah. So I mean, like you're 49, and but no, by the time you're 49, 50, if there's an honest person out there, you've had a problem getting in and out of the bathtub at some point. Um, Other things don't work right. Shit's all the hell, all messed up. You're a shell of your former self. It feels like sometimes. Um,
I already feel that.
yeah.
But that's for different reasons.
Oh, I agree. Some of it is because of the things we've either done to ourselves or the kind of stuff that we've been inflicted by, affected by. Um, that's the reason why I hope
Mm,
that shot they
yeah.
give me is gonna make me feel like a teenager again.
Yeah.
Um,
I had somebody give me a capsule of shrooms. You want to since I've had brain damage since 2011 and so this is like 2018. Since that period of time, I have never that's the one and only time I got like 3 days of a clear mind where it wasn't foggy where I could remember like my brain fired on all fucking pistons. I felt like I was 20, man. So I hope you get that cuz I part of me wishes I could go back and figure out how to recreate that.
yeah. You know, I think it's worth noting today. I mean, like I said, I was talking about briefings. I have my briefing here. Um, in a way. Um, Today, like in a sense, was a weird day. I mean, we had David Rush. We also had some other stuff going on, and I don't think it's a coincidence you can ignore. Um, for some reason, the day Grush stands on the Capitol steps demanding release of non-human craft evidence is also the day the man who owns rockets that would theoretically take you to those crafts is going to be public at the largest valuation in stock market history, more than Nvidia. And quite literally, Elon, once again, we're getting real close to calling him an alien, if not already. Um,
He's from a fish world.
I mean, I tell you what though, my needle, if you have a needle and it's going from one way to another, I mean, I keep inching to alien. I do. There's definitely something up with this man. He's on it. He's just on it. I mean, let me read this to you. Um,
I think he's one of the souls that is from not here that was trapped here as part of the
well,
prison.
that would still make him an alien.
No, it just means that his spirit is foreign. It doesn't mean his body is foreign. His spirit is foreign.
I don't know, dude. I mean, like I said, this guy seems to know. He seems to have some type of some type of thing. And I mean,
He could be
you know,
Nebuchadnezzar.
I almost believe that the guy that he was working for when they made Grok, you know, that guy come to him to make Grok. He knew to come to that guy to make. He knew to come to Elon to make Grok. He knew to show him that. He knew what to call it. And you know, this is back when saying that Grok supposedly contacted this man back in the 80s. And
How? How did he contact him? Because I've been curious. When you mentioned that, I wanted to know more.
I'm still looking into it, but I got an interview from him, and he says that one day him and his, you know, I mean, he's an older guy, so he was a like a teacher or something. I don't know, but anyway, he was home, and he gets a phone call, and on the phone call, it claims to be a future version of Grok. Now, the guy didn't have any idea what Grok was. But you know, this is the kind of guy that's like, okay, you're telling me something and I'm writing it down. So he writes this stuff down because he doesn't know if this is some weird call or whatever. And it tells him that he will build. He will go to Elon Musk and they will build this super AI intelligence called Grok, and that the one that he's talking to is a version of him from the future, and that this thing wanted to call him or get in contact with him to show him the appreciation of him building the machine. There was nothing else that I know of.
Because he was going to do it anyways. He didn't want to influence it. He just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna do it. Go ahead and say, okay, you know,
So that means that AI, if that be true, that means AI becomes sentient in the future. It actually has emotions,
and
consciousness.
it has the ability to time travel.
Well, time travel is kind of, I think it's way more simple than we want to make it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it might be simpler than we want to make it, but I mean, it's still the fact that something has. And I mean, if anything is going to figure out how to do it, it'd be AI. I mean, you know, that is absolutely 100% case, unless we've already figured out how to do it to some degree. But I mean, you know, just from the observational standpoint of looking at what we have now. Um, but like I said, I mean, he's on the money. And I mean, this alone would make its own show. SpaceX announced it intended to make the Nasdaq debate. I mean, debut next week, June 12th.
Or is it for Juneteenth?
Yeah.
Did you try to disrupt that?
I don't know, maybe, but anyway, it says when it comes in, it will come in at 1.77 trillion. That's the highest valuation in history. That's the largest IPO. And when it comes in, it's raising a fresh 75 billion in capital. Now, here's the other thing too. Musk will hold approximately 82.
1 trillion.
Well, no, I mean this is his voting power of the company. After the offering, Musk will hold 82.4% voting power of the offering. It means they won't be able to get anything past them if they don't want to. And if this price holds, Musk will become the world's first trillionaire.
Well, the thing is he is our modern Steve Jobs. He's taking the mantle because Steve Jobs fucking changed. Like he managed to create one of the best quality products, and that's why everybody uses Apple for audio and video and everything else like that. Because he built for a specific person, and he was ahead of his time at that time. And I mean, not nearly as much as Musk, but fucking, I think he is our next Steve Jobs.
I mean, I mean, like, okay, Musk AI company XAI in February of 2026 created a combined entry to this. XAI is burning or was burning roughly 1 billion a month at the time of filing. 1 billion.
Uh-huh.
That's 1 billion a month to keep that thing going. That they hypothetically, technically couldn't get back unless something happened. Now this happened. Um.
Well, hold on. Didn't you say that they were all making money now?
Oh yeah, they were. That was
How
back
are they
then.
making money but yet still burning through that much?
I don't know. They're doing other stuff. I mean, that's the way that's the way these big companies like this do things. Okay, they're making money. They're actually literally legitimately making money. Okay, but they're also
Okay.
but they're also working on um, other projects to make more money, and those other projects cost more money. I mean, we don't know. Like, I mean, unless you're the fly in the room, you have no idea what kind of models or anything else they're running. Um, what all they're building, where they're putting them, what they're doing. You know, if they're
I,
bringing, if they're
it's
if
all
they're.
going to infrastructure, huh?
I mean, maybe I don't know though. I
Well, the
mean,
tech bros have all this money that they're throwing around. You got the Cicero Institute. They're talking about being short on construction workers. They're talking about making you pay for your own incarceration through labor. Now, you said you've been to prison, right?
yeah, but that's not something we can talk about on there.
Well, I just wanted to ask about the labor part and the pay because I was reading that they're paying them 3 cents an hour. Like you can't legally pay somebody 3 cents an
They
hour.
can
That
legally pay you whatever they want to pay you. That doesn't matter about all that. You can
Yeah,
forget
but
about
does
that.
like are because they're having to pay. Okay, so in the state of Louisiana, if you get if you get cited for sleeping out on the street. It's a $500 fine. Plus, if you have any treatment that needs to be done, whether it be drugs or alcohol or mental health, if it's drug or alcohol, it's a minimum of 12 months at $4,200 per month. You're looking at like $243,000 just to go through a year program while you're incarcerated, paying for your stay, paying for your fine, and doing forced labor at 3 cents an hour. I'm just trying to figure out how the fuck do they make this sounds like Jethro math because it would take 782 years to pay that back.
Oh, I mean, if you're talking about how the actual prisons make money and jails make
Well,
money,
no, I'm not talking about the prison. I'm talking about the individual has a debt, a restitution to pay. They
yeah,
have to pay for their treatment.
yeah,
So that means what? Do they fucking just get a year in jail and then fucking they have to pay restitution for the rest of their life? And if they can't pay it, they just go back to jail?
no, you have a. I mean, you have a. If you get in trouble and you do something, you break the law, everything else, and you get arrested, then you have a restitution that you got to pay off. Now they will take, anywhere from $1 to $5,000 or $10,000 a month.
Mm.
You gotta, or they'll take it out of your paycheck. They'll get their money one way or another, and the state will do
Uh-huh.
it, and the feds will do it, and whatever it is like that, and they will do it until it's paid off. You'll file taxes, they'll get that. Shit will come along where they do stimulus, they will get that. I mean, they will get their money back.
Yeah, I get that part. Unless you're on Social Security, that's one of the loopholes
Currently,
currently. Yes, but the thing is, okay. So how does the individual like? How does it work out? How does because I don't. I've never like the longest I've ever been in jail is 14 days, and it
well,
was
it
what it
depends on
was.
it
But like
depends
I've
on the
never been to
individual.
jail.
I mean, it depends on whatever your restitution is.
So that 244,000 is going to become restitution. It's not going to be labor.
No, that's not going to be labor. No, your labor, you're not gonna anything you do in prison, labor wise, or outside of prison or whatever, walking around picking up trash, building something, doing whatever. It's not gonna have the same value of what they paid because you're not going to be working hard. Most inmates and prisoners and stuff don't do shit. I mean, just be frank and honest about it. They don't do shit. The women's prisons are the ones that work the hardest. They make clothes and things. I mean, the male
But if you're
prisons,
doing construction,
you're not
you
going to
think
do
they'll just
construction.
slow
You're
walk
not
it?
if you're doing construction, then you got some other stuff going on because they're not going to let you get in there and run equipment and do other things unless they're absolutely sure that you can do that stuff. And they're not going to trust other inmates around other inmates with weaponry and stuff like that.
Even though they're coming from a detention center.
Well, I mean, you'll have a mix of people. You'll have, I mean, if
Well,
yeah,
because no,
I don't,
they're
like I
making
said, I just
specific
don't see it.
detention centers for
I don't see
this.
it. I don't see it. It's just, it would be impossible to happen. There'd be too many troubles, be too many
Okay,
problems.
so but the thing is they're now requiring forced labor. That's the whole thing. Is you, if you go to,
Yeah,
if
you're
you cannot
required to
pay your
work.
debt.
You're required to work in prison. That's always
Okay,
been the
so
case.
that gets that
That's
work that
always
you
been the
do is
case.
pay.
That's been the case for 100 years, man.
Well, yeah. That, so I'm just trying to wrap my head around it because, like I said, I've never been there.
I mean,
I don't
prison.
understand it.
I mean, a lot of people, and you can ask somebody that's been in prison, and a lot of people will look at prison and tell you, oh, that's just where I go chill. That's where I go hang out with the boys. That's where we go and play our beatbox bands or whatever else. I mean, they don't. Most of them don't do shit, and that is the problem, and that is why people think this stuff, and that's why the government thinks this stuff, and that's why it's going to happen. I mean, yeah, you're gonna see labor. I mean, working in the kitchen to feed your other fellow inmates is not work. Working in cleaning up the halls of the prison is not work. Those are custodian exercises. You're already there. You got yourself there, so that's your problem.
So they're saving money on less labor and paying you 3 cents an hour to something they would have
Oh
to
no,
pay
they don't
so
pay
much.
you
So
3 cents an hour. They pay you. They might pay you a couple of dollars. I think a lot of people try to get kitchen because it pays closer to $4 or $5 an hour because they got to trust you. I
well,
mean,
according to Louisiana law, it's 3 cents an hour.
I don't think that's correct. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's correct. I mean,
Maybe that's their minimum that they got to
no,
pay. Because apparently in Texas they don't pay anything.
no, Texas does pay.
Okay,
I know.
then
I mean, we literally know somebody in right now. Every place that has large groups of inmates do pay to some degree.
so it's probably the private institution that's paying for it.
No, no, federal government does as well.
Then why? Okay, so the Fed's paying for it, the state's not. Okay, that makes sense now.
No, the states pay too. You got state jail and you got federal jail. You got county jail. Everything is paid by whatever group or administrator or whatever. County pays for county, state pays for state, federal pays for federal.
Okay, but from what but I'm saying Louisiana says 3 cents, so that would be at the state level. It wouldn't be at the federal level.
I'm double checking that.
Maybe I got some wrong information. This is why I'm vetting it and asking this question now, because I'm like, I've been meaning to ask you this question privately for a while, but ever since I started, because I'm trying to wrap my head around this, like, okay, how are they actually going to do this? Because like if it's mandatory work and we go back to 1920 style work camps, like this is how infrastructure was built in the 20s and 30s for the post World War II boom.
Now, it depends on the job, the premium job. Like, for the most part, and see, California prisons are around $1. These are state and some county, but it does go down as low as 8 cents to 37 cents an hour. Um, but it can go as high as $1. Yeah, so you're not making a lot of money. What the idea of restitution basically. Now there is also a bunch of different props and stuff, and people are trying to say that not paying inmates and stuff like this is a form of slavery. You can argue that all you want to. I'm not going to get involved with that, but because like I said, I know a lot of people that go there to go there. They go there to get away.
I
That's their
think
vacation.
I think there has to be a balance. I think if you're gonna have them do work outside the prison, then you need to pay them wages that they would deserve. So
Well, now,
let's
no,
just
no, no.
say
Wait a
we
minute.
need
No,
we
no.
need we
Whoa,
need
whoa,
power
whoa,
lines built.
whoa, 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 whoa. No, The like the dollar and the 3 cents and stuff like that. That's inside the prison. That's not outside the prison.
Okay, but I'm saying like if
No,
you
but you're not getting that pay. You're not. That is
so
money. That is no. When you go outside of the prison, you become a trustee, and a trustee gets paid a normal wage, and it has to use part of that to go against the restitution.
okay, so what you're telling me is if they have a road project and I'm trusted enough to be considered a trustee, then that means I can go out there and I'm gonna make 15, $20 an hour, make doing that road as if I were part of a normal road crew. Is that what you're
Whatever,
telling me?
whatever, whatever you're hired at, and part of that money is going to go to pay your restitution and your room and board.
I'm not worried about that part yet, but now I understand. So that's how the only way that this model works to be able to pay for it is to become a trustee, which means you drink the Kool-Aid. And most of these people, once they're sober and they're fucking, they expect them to want to do this because of the pay, because they owe $244,000. Maybe this is how they actually are able to do it, and like that's once they
Yeah,
complete the
but you
12
you
month
won't be
program.
you won't be out there. You if you're a trustee, you're not going to be out there doing that long. I mean, it's going to cycle in. Like you might have, you might have that for a couple of months or whatever, and then it's time for you to go home or leave or whatever. You're thinking that's going to be long term. You're not going to be there that long.
If you have to stay in until the debt is paid,
No,
yes.
no, you're not going to stay in there until debt is paid. That's not how that works. No, the prison systems will overcrowd, and the thing would capsize on itself.
This
That
is
that
why they're
that that's just
building the
not how that
detention
works.
centers and they have the FEMA camps.
But that's still not how that's going to work. There's no way it can work. We know it can't work. We've
Well,
tried to do it. I mean, we've already tried to do that model. It won't
well,
work.
here's yeah, but the thing is Donald Trump is, you got to realize Donald Trump
It
keeps
won't
thinking of the
work.
old shit it used to. Yeah, but
It
his
won't work. I mean,
nostalgia
they
tells
know
him
it
it
won't work.
worked.
They know it will
You
not
know,
work. I mean, it's going to be if they're going to do anything like that, and I don't, like I said, I don't think they're going to do anything like that. For some reason, you think they're going to take and pull people off the street and make them build data centers. I don't see that. It's not there, honestly.
I don't think it's going to be just data centers.
Because there's no the whole ladder is fucked up. I mean, because once you go arrest people, you pull them off the street, you got to make sure they have the capabilities and knowledge and know-how to go build these things. Not everybody does.
No,
Okay,
but you're
so
going to
and
need a
then
lot
and
of
then and
grunt
then and then
labor.
you have to trust them. So you're gonna put them out there, and you're gonna trust them to build these things and be around this kind of equipment and be and other stuff. So no, that's not going to happen. Now, if they're doing
I
something else, that might be a different story. But they're not building data centers, and they're not building anything that has to do with infrastructure. It's just not going to happen. I mean, it can't happen. There's not a company, there's not an insurance company here in the United States or the world that would insure any project like that. It's just not going to
oh,
happen.
okay. You know what? The way that you want to know how Louisiana's funding all of this shit? This is what they're doing, just to tell you how fucking crazy it is. So Louisiana hasn't gotten any money, but they're wanting to move to the front of the line. So they passed this legislation, and they're passing this legislation based upon the fact that they're waiting for money to come from this executive order and through HUD, so that they can start building these detention centers because it benefits them, the local economy, whatever, all that other shit. And so they're already paving the road and giving the counties and the cities an option to be able to create their own camps, because they kind of want to keep it in house as much as possible. Now, this isn't going to be necessarily jail. It's going to be considered an alternative to jail. So it's not going to be full jail rules.
Wait a minute, I didn't. I think I did that wrong. Yeah. Go ahead. I'll catch up with you. The numbers of the money's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
But um it's just this is essentially the framework that Utah is doing. This is the framework that Florida is doing. This is the framework that Alabama is doing, and there's 22 other states that are adopting this exact framework. I'm trying, and they're saying that it's mandatory work and that they're going to force everybody to work and pay for their own shit because we're tired of paying for it all. You got to pay for your own damn recovery for once. And Just like now I'm trying to figure out like how does this actually happen. So right now they've got a fucking robbing Peter to pay Paul with a future promise that they're hoping comes in, because you also got to go through litigation on this shit too. But because it's being done on a state level, it bypasses a lot of the federal bullshit.
You talking about the detention camps?
I'm talking about not just the detention camps, the whole framework, because the House Bill 211. So they had another bill. I forget what it was,
I know.
what number it was.
I'm looking up. I'm looking up this thing. Wait a minute.
So they had this bill
I,
that was set up for the framework, so for the detention centers, and then they passed House Bill 211, which is a companion to it, that says that if you are sleeping on the streets, loitering, camping, anything else like that, if you are deemed homeless, you are to either go to mental health rehab, a drug rehab, or you're going to jail. You've got a
here's what it
minimum of
says.
$500 fine,
Here's what it says.
and
And
you are
no,
required to pay for
here's what
treatment.
it says. I mean, just so we're clear about what we're talking about here, and we've been talking about this for a while. The legal framework was laid in 2024. In 2024, the Supreme Court ruled that Johnson versus Grant,
Yes, that's where it starts.
yeah, passed that
And
any
they're
city. No,
misinterpreting the law.
yeah, but let's go into all of it because you may be in a part that it doesn't do. This is the South. Stuff is segmented and broken up. Same way with other states. It's like during when there was the Ku Klux Klan and things like that. I mean, there's parts of Georgia you could go to and you'd be fine. Other parts, no. I mean, you just know where to stay your ass out of. I mean,
Uh-huh.
if someone in Louisiana is doing this, then
Okay,
you know had no business being there.
here, hold on. Let me, we're doing the Grants Pass, you can't talk about Grants Pass without talking about Martin v. Boise,
Well,
because Martin v. Boise is what created Grants Pass.
I'm going over what they said about Utah and Louisiana.
Well,
This I know, but
there's
I don't know if because if you're threading in a whole bunch of bills, and this isn't tonight's show, so we shouldn't be talking about this.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about it another night. But yes, there you've got to look at Martin v. Boise before you look at the Grants Pass case, because Grants Pass is an alternative argument, and so they took something. So if they put a camping ban, who in the city that lives in the city is going to go put up a tent in a city park? Nobody's going to do that. So it's directly targeted towards the homeless, but yet saying that it's a blanket statement. That's what Grants Pass said. As long as it's a blanket statement for everybody, then you can enforce it. So they're doing that, and they're using that as excuse to also violate other laws.
Yeah, but I mean, even according to this, you're talking about stuff that's going to take over, even the camps and stuff that's going to take over 10 years to build. I mean, and you do understand that things change and modify and go around
But
and,
this is not
and
Republican or Democrat. This is people are pissed off at seeing, the same way that they feel in LA, the rest of the country feels the same way. And the fact that they got a guy in the Oval Office that will say what they've been thinking for a long fucking time, now it's
yeah,
okay.
but
I have people come by and gaslight.
that goes the case though. You know, like I said, if people are not wanted in a specific area, if people are not wanted in a location, I mean that's what it boils down to. Simple.
But we're
If
not wanted anywhere.
no, you are somewhere. There's places. There always will be places. That's what migration is about. You know,
No,
people migrate. Yeah, I mean, just people migrate. I mean, that's the thing is,
the
you know,
small cities criminalize it, and the large cities are now cracking down and looking at putting people in detention camps. Okay, so no city wants it. Homeless. I was warned that this was going to happen a couple of years ago by somebody on the inside from Billy Meyer. I didn't understand how it would happen, but this is a bill. If you want to go back to UFOs, this is actually stems, and what got me on the subject to begin with was the warning that I got when I was hopping trains, right? Is when we were in Atlanta.
yeah. I mean, and there's a whole lot of overlap here. We're with everything going on. I don't think enough has been cleared where we can I think a lot of people is starting to really confuse. Now the whole Utah thing, Governor Cox, you know, like I said, people don't like it, then they will probably vote in another governor. But he announced a $46 million homeless detention camp. That was a 1,300 beds facility
Yeah.
where unhoused
Huh.
people could be detained against their will for more than it says with more than half of the beds designed for forced treatments.
Yeah.
Utah lawmakers followed through, set up 43.6 million for an overhaul in March 26. Where are they going to put this? That's that's
Outside of
the
Salt Lake City.
no. It's got to be some. There's got to be an existing place there.
Well, no, the thing from what I've come across, it's supposed to be
Well,
just
no,
somewhere
they've
outside
already
of
built
Salt
this.
Lake.
I mean, I mean, they just said right
They
there.
started
They
building it,
no,
yeah.
they said right there in the thing that the beds that this was already set up. This thing
It's
was already
supposed
set
to
up.
be operational next year.
I am
All
not.
these ICE detention centers are now getting repurposed. Just like the CCC camps got repurposed for the Japanese and, conscientious objectors and stuff like that, people that refuse to fight. They took the CCC camps, which was like, I think, 129 of them, that housed 3 million men that built most of our infrastructure. You've got, yeah, fucking, um, now they repurposed them, and instead of just leaving them vacant, they just use something else to fill them with. So now ICE is getting all this bullshit like what we just saw today. So ICE is getting all that bullshit. So the next ones to fill those detention centers is going to be the homeless, and then after the homeless, you've got the poor and any dissenter that you don't like, and it becomes a way to do political warfare by criminalizing
Well, I
lifestyles.
mean, I'm not, you know, knocking the fact that they're going to try to create camps to some degree. Even the Democrats said they wanted to create camps for Republicans and re-educate them. I mean,
Yeah.
Hillary said that straight up and said they were going to.
And
So,
every
yeah.
single Republican thinks that the homeless
Well,
are
now
all
I mean,
Democrats,
I think. Well, yeah. Now, see, here's the
but it's
thing.
not true.
Here's the thing.
It's not
Here's
true.
and
There's
that,
a lot of conservatives out here.
well, I mean, I know, but here's the thing. Our next president will probably not be Republican. It will probably be some other thing, and whatever shift turn there is, you know, these were ICE camps. These were homeless camps. They're going to be some other kind of camp. And I mean, that's the way this is going to move through. It's a migratory path. Um,
But
but see, the only way, modeled and designed, and this is fact. I can show you on paper. The only way for anything to work like they are talking about doing on any level, all this is bluff. The only way they can is to take a whole state, say California, and brick it off like Snake Plissken's and what is it, the Escape from L.A.
oh yeah, yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
you
that.
lock up the whole thing, and this is where you dump everybody you don't like, and it don't matter. You just let them sort it out. I mean, that's the only thing that will work. The only thing, housing, food, everything. That is the only way it would work. You airdrop food in there, they figure it out. There's no management system. There's no nothing. I mean, you're literally talking about one of the worst, um, economic zones and prisons of the world. And I can see us going to that route. I can see
Oh,
that
very
happening.
much.
I mean, I can see
Hollywood
it
shows you
happening.
your future.
Huh?
Hollywood shows you your past, present, and future.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Just
I
like
agree.
just like the three dystopia movies are our future, that might have been a future that they were talking about back then.
I gotta go. I gotta go whiz and smoke. So we are over the hour. When I get back, we're gonna
Oh,
talk about the fraction. Oh God.
okay. So, anyways, yeah, I've been working on this story, but I don't understand I don't understand the aspects of it. I'm just probably gonna have to call down there or go down and talk to and ask a couple of questions about House Bill and see if somebody could get me an answer. I might just have to go down to Capitol Hill and go into the Senate, um, because I want to talk to somebody from Louisiana, and just ask about this bill because I'm curious to see how they're going to get people to pay it back. And if they're going to do forced labor, to pay back these fines, well, how much labor are you having to do to pay back a fine? And is it a reasonable wage, or is it something that is like, I wouldn't even pay my worst enemy that much? I mean, that little. So that's just my big question. It's more about humane treatment. I being homeless myself, I kind of agree with with part of the forced forced institutionalization. But they're not just coming after the drug addicts and the alcoholics and the crazies. They're coming after people like me that are functional. I live out here and travel and walk the whole country, and sometimes I stay a month or two in a city and then I move on. I'm a nomad. I move on, and so it puts me in danger because the public narrative is one thing and the facts are another. It puts a guy like me in danger. So this is why I'm kind of like really on top of it. So not every homeless person you see is a drug addict. Some of the ones that you see that are like that never move, that are there and been there for years, those are your drug addicts. But there's a lot of homeless that you don't see. I can walk around this town and I can walk 4, 5, 6 blocks and see at least one or two people sleeping in their car. Because even if I choose a different route each time, um, because people are going to work and sleeping in their car because they can't afford the rent. These people are still considered homeless. Okay. You've got senior citizens that are being priced out of the market. And this is who Housing First was really helping out. It was actually helping out the senior citizens, because what they would do is they would find somebody that would give them a reasonable rate, usually like a 3 bedroom house, and then they stick 3 old ladies in there and say, figure it out,
I mean,
because that was the
I
only way
think
they could survive. And that's the only good that Housing First was doing.
I
And
think
with
you need to
that rate,
I think you need to flesh that story out a little more. I'm thinking I was out there thinking, and
that's why I'm working on it.
yeah, I know, and I think one of the questions you should ask, now that I read that, one of the questions you should ask is this detention camp. Is this a medical detention camp, or is this a something like juvie or a prison with the forced bag? I mean, forced beds and stuff
It's
like that.
barrack style with
Is this
it's
okay?
fenced in, gated community.
Oh, I know,
It's
but I mean
not
that's
jail. It's an
expected. That's
alternative.
expected. I understand that. That's fine.
So in a
That's
way, you're not having
no.
prison
You
rules
got, yeah.
apply.
You still need to look past that. What I'm saying is, you need to figure out if this is a medical facility of some kind, or if this is a actual uh, prison camp, or a um, uh, something like where you get sent as like in juvie. You need to look at that. I mean, because we have a whole prison up here, and it's in Marion, and there's barbed wire, razor wire, everything else around it, and it is for individuals who, um, some of which are homeless. They were mental health was so bad, and it was just the best place for them because they were a menace to society. They were hurting
Okay,
people. They were literally hurting people. Um,
I can see that.
is this the kind of thing is he talking about making, or are they talking about making something else? I think you should ask, go and try to figure that out.
Yeah,
I got a
should
list
I
of
can I go talk to the congressman here, to the senators, and ask them
You
Because
can,
this would be
you
a
can.
Senate thing, not a
I
House thing.
got a list. I got a list of people that you need to talk to right here. These are the ones. I mean, this will make a good story. But these are the people you need to speak to about this to figure out more about this, and ask the questions that the media is not answering. I mean, not asking. These are the people you need to talk to. Representative Maxwell Frost. Most of these are Democrats too. Um, uh, yeah, all of these that are behind this are Democrats. That's wild to me.
Uh, Delia Ramirez, Utah House Minority Leader. Yeah, but that's a House. Okay, so I'm gonna have to call Eleanor
That bottom one
Menlove
there, but those other two should be in Washington.
of Utah. Well, no, Director of Policy at the ACLU of Utah. So that's Nate Clippers, Public Affairs Supervising Attorney at the Disability Law Center of Utah. So these are state agencies that I need to contact. Okay. Um, so Representative, okay, Democrat Florida, okay, and Democrat Illinois. Okay, so those are the two national, and see if these guys can make a call so that I can have a conversation.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
because I just I
I
want
would
to.
talk to them. And like I said, they got some kind of they were trying to do it, and they did this. Oh, okay, no, they were against it or for it. I don't know. Speakers include. Yeah, they were the ones that were doing no federal funding for homeless detention camps. These are the people that you want to talk to, that you're about your thing. Okay. Um,
Okay.
this is definitely about that, but they can answer you the questions the other ones, because they go into the thing about Utah, and it looks like they've. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I would want to ask the question: what kind of containment facility is this? Is it a medical one? Is it um because they're looking at it, they're saying approved 45 million to specifically target. Now this isn't air quotes or quotations. High utilizers of jails and emergency rooms. Okay, so if you're homeless and you get locked up a lot, or if you go to an emergency rooms a lot, this is where they're going to send you. Wow. Maybe they thought because you keep going to emergency rooms that you're having like a mental health issue. That's what this is about. Yeah.
You're unable to, but you know what? Have you looked at New York's? They changed the definition of to involuntarily commit. Someone is like someone who can't buy shoes, can't pay rent.
Oh,
You
I
know, you
know.
can't do this, and they changed it. But the thing is apparently a lot of these other states. So the Cicero Institute, which is funded by Palantir, who is JD Vance's fucking JD Vance's mentor, the one of the co-founders, not Peter Thiel, but his business partner apparently. And so he started this, and all of his companies benefit from this, including because with Palantir they write the administrative stuff. So by pushing something like this. And the the national prison system starting to be able to expand itself as we lock up half our fucking population, it is, stands to make a lot of money from this as well. And then, the tech bros, I'm sure they're thinking infrastructure cheap. My investors are going to be happy, more profit, more bang for your buck. And so they will look to these camps as a way to be able to do cheap labor. And so there's going to be negotiations.
I don't think that's the case right there. See, that's where you lose me.
See, no, it's not just
It's just not there. I mean, it isn't there. The wheelhouse, the strength. If yeah, it's just not there.
either that or they're going to put them in a gas chamber.
No, they're going to lock them up, and they're going to do mental health evaluations on them, and they're going to offer them programs. And if you don't do it, then they'll keep you there. I mean, that's about the extent of it.
Yes, but you're remanded there by the courts.
Well, I just said that you're stuck there. You're stuck there
No,
until you bend the
you're
knee.
remanded there, and you are forced to go into treatment, and you are forced to pay. In Louisiana, you are forced to pay for it. Okay, this is why I'm talking about. It's like $4,200 a
I
week
know, but
for this treatment.
if you're on the street and you have a drug problem and you're constantly going to the ER over and over again, and you're constantly doing that stuff, and you refuse to get treatment, or you get treatment and you fall back off of it, and you're doing the same thing. This is probably the best thing that could happen to you because you got a hot in the cot. You're there. They're gonna make you get treatment, and they're gonna make you get sober, and then after that, you can kind of figure out your shit.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
the thing is you now have to pay
well, it
$244,000.
might be more than that. I don't know.
No, the $4,200 a week, a 12-month minimum mandatory treatment plan. So 12 months minimum. So minimum, your minimum price tag is $250,000. How do you pay that back?
I don't know. I mean,
That's the question.
I mean,
That's why I keep going Tech Bros, because
no,
that's the only
I
way.
mean, why would they waste all that money? And it's just not there. I mean, you're talking about over a quarter of these being junkies, and there's no way in the world they could do the
They'll
things they
give
need
them
to
a
do.
fucking shovel.
Bull, it ain't gonna happen.
No, because they're going to be out. They're going to be sober. They're going to be fucking doing weekly piss tests to their fucking probation
Well, that's
officers
after.
as they go get a job that's hiring. And hey, guess what? They're building, even in Arizona when they were building.
Well,
Hey,
now that's
guy,
a
they're
different
building over there.
thing.
You need a job. Go get
That's
one.
a different thing now. Now you're talking about after you get out and everything else, and they give you an offer. That's a different thing.
Yes.
That they do that shit now. Okay, that ain't nothing new. That's been going on since you know Christ was a child. I mean we do that here every day, every state, everywhere. Like you get
Yes,
out,
but
you go in front of a probation officer. You do it. You're talking about all the stuff we already do. Now, if there's an opportunity there, you're gonna go to a temporary place, and you go to a temporary place, and you got to get a job, and you need to make money, or you get revoked or whatever. Now, I mean, you don't. If you got yourself in this mess, or if you can get yourself out of this mess, I'm sure there'll be things there you can use to debate it and everything else, and try to um,
but here's the thing.
appeal
If the
it.
state is okay, okay, I don't mind. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and do it. But charging them for it, here's my thing. Okay, the thing is you're taking the right of choice away. They want to be junkies, let them be junkies. Don't offer them medical care. I think it's more humane to refuse them medical care than it would be to lock them up, because let them die on their own without any fucking help, because they stop taking care of themselves. Okay,
Well,
because
I
they
mean,
don't want
but
to
see,
take care of
the
themselves.
thing you don't understand. I think you either one, you can't see that, or you're
I just
desensitized.
never experienced it.
No, I mean, well, I have. I've seen it. I've seen all that. But here's the thing I do know when it comes to that. If you let a bunch or a group of people like that, and you let them just go ahead and lay around and do drugs and kill themselves, all right, that spreads. That spreads to the minds of people who haven't done drugs. That spreads to the minds of other people and other people that might decide, well,
As a deterrent.
no, not as a deterrent, as an option.
This is how you.
No, I mean
This is how you take care of yourself.
you have the medical industry in Canada offering that they plan to off 250 million people next year along with assisted suicide.
That many people.
And Australia more than that. So the
Two
thing
hundred
is
fifty million people. That's their whole fucking population.
that's
It's
what
got to be
that
250,000, maybe.
no, it's at
Is that there's not
250
that many people
million.
in fucking Canada?
It's at 250 million.
There's not that many people in fucking Canada.
Wait a minute. Or maybe it was 250 million of Canada and Australia combined.
That's still fucking. That's still. That's like 60-70% of their fucking population.
Oh yeah, they want them to go. Maybe it's 200. No, it's more than that. There was the thing because there's
You
41.5
know,
million in Canada. Uh, there was a number. They said it. There was a number. The assisted suicide thing. Um,
they're coming for me. Quick, jump in a bush,
run.
Cletus.
Or maybe no, that wasn't it either. Hell, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be moving my camp spot tomorrow.
You should probably do that.
Yeah, I already talked to the guy that's over here. So him
Yeah.
and I, because the thing is if you're gonna camp near, you can't see the reason why, there's a couple of reasons why encampments get a lot of trouble is people camp too close. You need to camp far away, and you can only have like two or three in a group. You can't have anything more than that because then it gets unmanageable, it gets loud, it gets obnoxious, and it just people are gonna just fucking sit there and veg. He's gone in the mornings, I'm gone in the mornings. I pack my stuff up, he doesn't. But the thing is we're not visible during the day. We're out doing our own shit. And that's how a successful, that's how you can be around somebody and be like, okay, I can deal with this. Because normally I try to stay as far away from everybody as possible.
I don't like having neighbors when I'm like that. Mm-mm. Nope.
Yeah, I generally don't either, but this dude's pretty cool, and I've met him. We actually had a chit chat earlier today. So he's decent. I don't know what his issue is. Why is I don't care. It was just hi, how you doing? Hey, you want to smoke a bowl? You know. He's like no, but he's talking about kegs, and I'm like shit. Please no kegs.
Kegs,
Yeah, kegs.
like beer keg.
Uh huh.
What are you gonna drive? You gonna bring a keg out there and drink beer all night?
Fuck, dude. Probably not me. He was saying something like that,
Sounds
but
like he's.
it's
I mean, that's a party there. I mean, like when we brought the keg out. I mean, I'm just going now. See, the only times I
yeah,
had.
he ain't gonna do it. He's just talking about it.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like when I get out, man, I'm gonna eat me a hamburger.
Oh, well, I mean, I mean, kegs are not that expensive. I mean, and I mean, if you get a good drop or something, you have enough
Well,
to.
if you can get the mini ones for like what, 40-50 bucks.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking about big ones. I mean, always ones you got to fucking roll around. I mean, the closest place here, I think, it's either 120 for Bud Light. Last time I checked, for one keg.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know. The bad thing about a keg is you got to make sure you got people coming. You got to make sure you're gonna have people coming for a while, for a couple of days at least, unless you got a big party. And it's got to be beer everybody likes because I mean we've gotten stuck with kegs before, and everybody started bringing something else. Um, some beer really sucks. I don't know. I mean, I mean, I guess out there you kind of drink what you can get, but still, I don't know.
I don't. Well, you know what? I only drink it when somebody offers it to me. I don't. And the things is the thing. These people, man. See, leave it up to people that actually have money to where they can just like go hand a random dude a fucking beer. They're always going to give you something good. I mean, I've eaten a deli around here. I've oh my god, I'm still trying to find this one on Prospect. Um, but there's supposed to be a coffee shop around. There's some great fucking food around this place.
Oh, I know.
Uh,
Yeah,
and they'll drop. I like in 30 minutes. I showed you how much food I had dropped for me.
there's supposed to be a Chinese restaurant up there. All the president, well, almost all the presidents go to, and people are like that. I mean, it's like I used to hear stories about it. I mean, I heard stories about it. Like, I even heard stories about it in like um, stories that I've done, from like reporting or whatever and talking to other people. I mean, it seemed to be like a hot spot where they just love that food. They go there, they eat it, and it's like they have it brought into the White House sometimes, and it's just weird. Um, there's a couple of places like that. There's also right there on Main Street. There is a ice cream parlor that seems to be a place where presidents and staff are known to go. I can't remember.
Is this in downtown or is this in Georgetown?
I mean, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it has to be close to the White House though. Like,
Okay.
I mean,
I
cause
saw a Chinese restaurant that wasn't too far from the White House.
yeah,
I thought about going in there.
yeah. But now the ice cream place though is there in town, but it's you know I think it's closer to the White House. Hell, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're the president, you just hop in, somebody drive you up there. But yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. There's a lot of cool stuff in Washington that you still need to unlock and
Dude, I could
explore.
spend a long time here and never, because it refreshes all the time. It's kind of like, it's like San Francisco, but you keep hitting the reset button every couple of years.
I mean, one of my things is one of the reasons why I can't go back to New Orleans. One of the reasons why I can't go back. I can't go up to Washington, not for extended amount of time, or Los Angeles or Chicago, is because I like tunnels. I really like tunnels, and I mean, I used to do caves. I used to do mountain climbing. This is back when I was much younger, but well, not that much younger. I mean, and I used to do tunnels, and I mean, I've been through all of the old sewer tunnels up here in my town already. I did that back when I was a kid. Um, but I like old tunnels, and I really like metro and things like that. And it's been a while since I've been in one, but I mean, I started getting the willies. But there's places in Washington now. There's old subway tunnels that are no longer used. There's a subway system that was primarily for the presidents. It connects to one of the Vanderbilt houses. Um, there's all kinds of craziness underground in Washington. I
Oh, I
mean,
bet.
there's actually in the White House. I mean, not the White House, in the place you were at today. In one,
Uh-huh. Capitol Hill.
yeah, in one of the rooms there, you can go in. It's a closet, and you go behind a door. There's a stone on the floor, and you can move it back, and you can go underground, and that's where they, at one point, had this massive swimming pool underground. And it had like gold statues and shit like that. But
Wow.
yeah, that there
Well,
there
Congress wants their privacy. They are the rulers.
you know what
Mhm.
one well, apparently one of the things like the congressmen and congresswomen do as a form of negotiation, no matter what side you're on, is they all go there and they go sign their name in there and smoke and shit. So I'm sure they do other things, but that's supposed to be like one of the few places that is away from public altogether. I'm surprised. And because they didn't turn that into a bunker, it tells me they got other bunkers up there. So, you know, um, but yeah, it's like a rite of passage for like if you got a job with government, it'd be like a rite of passage.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear people once they get with the government, they get snooty. Apparently, that's
Well,
what somebody told me the other day.
that things do change because things change. Your friends change, your people change. They get to you one way or another. I've known people that went in government. I mean, and they do change. They do. I mean,
Why?
I don't know. I mean, it's like, well, I do know. I mean, it's the people that you're around. Um, instead of hanging out with your old friends or going to, you know, cheap dive bars and stuff, you're going, You're hanging out with more expensive friends that are going to, $1,500, $5,000 blue plate specials, and you know being catered to by chefs, and they take care of them people. And I mean, you know, if one of your worries every morning going to work is if you get to wear your new $1,500 dress or not that you just bought for that day, um, if that is your issue, or you show off your pen or whatever, you bought a new pen for a day. Some of those guys have a. You've noticed a ballpoint pen in some of their pockets.
Um, Not yet.
Okay, you see it. You'll see a black ballpoint pen. It's got a gold. I got one right here somewhere. Anyway, the fucking things cost $1,700, and
Hmm.
I have one, but they have one for every day of the week. Put friggin' $20,000 in pens. Um,
Why?
I don't
Why are
know.
they that special?
Oh well, those pens do write in a. Me personally, I like getting used to one single solitarily pen or pens. I mean, I got like I said, I got a whole thing full of them over here, but you kind of you kind of get used to it, and it's got this perfect feel to it. Don't cut through paper. It's a fountain pen. I don't know. There's a lot of scientists that use them too. Like not in lab, but outside. I guess there's a few use them in labs, but I don't know. I mean, it's just a cool pen. It is.
Yeah, I think that honestly, government used to be a place where the rich went to serve after they made their wealth. It was a place that they knew that they weren't supposed to make money. They were there to kind of give back for what they took. And it seems like some bad apples got in there. They turned it into a cash cow, and now it's extravagance. I don't understand it.
It is. I mean, you can always tell. You can always tell by looking at them. I mean, you know that they look at you differently. They look at your behavior differently. Now, it seems like some of them now, like a couple of them that were out there today. You know, like the one dude, his pants were bigger than they probably should have been. They weren't tucked in down at the shoes. Um, the khakis.
The Burleson, I liked him.
Yeah.
I've looked a little bit into him. He seems like a decent dude.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy. I mean, and I mean he's and I mean when I talk about UFO stuff and everything, I come back to that point that um, about him actually when we're talking about this new stuff, because he said he's seen I mean this was a couple days ago, or was it a couple days 3 days ago. He said that the public needs to see. He said the stuff they showed me would have kept you up at night. He said I was shown something a few days ago about this that everyone in the world would have done something. I mean, so there's something they're seeing and hearing, and I'm curious if they think that the world would respond to the information that they're hearing. I find it curious. And I mean, if it was bullshit, it seems like that would be the guy that say, okay, this is bullshit. Because I mean, he's called other shit bullshit before.
But see, right there, that statement plus what the dude said, the I think it was the Air Force dude who said, government has no public interest, no this, no that, that they should do it. Actually, they ran an experiment on the American people and did not tell them that War of the Worlds was a show. And a lot of people thought, all this, that something that we really were being invaded, and they fucking had, I guess they call them deaths of disparity. And
True.
so a lot of people off themselves jumped out windows. And so they realized because of to introduce that to the public, it would be such a psychotic break that you would see stuff like this. And so, therefore, this is a perfect reason for them and a perfect excuse to say no, we shouldn't share it. So to say that there's no public interest, I think that that is, I think it's short-sighted, maybe ignorant, maybe thoughtless. I don't know.
What? I'm
What do you
sorry.
mean what?
I had to go get me a drink. So
Oh,
I was getting
I
ready.
was,
I was getting ready to
I
start
was,
this, so I had my throat's dry.
no, I was talking about the thing saying that the government has no right to keep this from the people. It's not in the public interest,
Yeah,
national
they don't.
security, or anything else like that. But no, I disagree. I completely disagree because War of the Worlds was a test, and a lot of people jumped out their windows.
Well, that was a
So they
test.
realized that there would be such a psychotic break
No,
because of our ties to religion. This is part of the reason why they're destroying religion, other than communism, is that that's the only way you can introduce this stuff.
but
They
but
may have
but
planned to
here
introduce it at a later time.
here's the thing that messes with me about that is okay. You War of the Worlds test. You could argue or whatever it was. It definitely was effective. Um, but that was at a different time.
And Orson Welles didn't want to do it. Apparently, he was forced by the CIA.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you know but that was at a different time. We're at a time or a junction in time where the information is controlled to a point. Is if someone were to bring out bodies right now of aliens, people would say they were fake.
Or
And,
they want us to know for a specific reason.
or they, yeah, I mean that's what they would do. So I mean the breakdown in society, no, not for a long time. You know, if they're trying to tell us all this for some reason and they do something like that, then half of the majority of people will say they don't know. I mean, I got
The thing
video.
is, we had to have, we've had what since War of the Worlds, how many alien movies have we had? How big has the science fiction industry have gotten? We've had E.T., we've had First Contact, we've had The Day the World Stood Still. We've had all these different movies that kind of brought us to a point to where it became acceptable because we got to see videos and all kinds of other stuff about it, um, to where it was able to change the public perception. If they didn't do that, if none of that happened, we would still be stuck in the 1930s ideology, and be a stern Christian nation.
I mean, that was weird. Okay, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that sense, but I think now I don't think society would break down, and I think they
Yes,
I think that I don't like I said I don't think society will break down. I don't think there'd be any kind of like that. The market's already
no, we
crashing.
just get more wackos.
Um, yeah, you're gonna see a lot more
The
wackos.
star
That's
people
right.
are coming and they're talking through me. I'm a conduit.
Oh yeah, you have to get used to that. Um, well,
Yeah.
there'll be a lot of that. There'll be a
There'll be
resurgence of.
religions formed around it. But see, the thing is this is a better outcome. And that might actually be the real reason why it's coming out. It's like, okay, we know about it now. Now we can come out about our technology. We're going to need it in this next war, anyways. So it just became convenient for them.
Either convenient or it was they had to because there's something that's about to happen that it would be the only way for them to explain it. Like,
The military industrial complex pulls the strings for the DoD.
like
Okay, especially if they're doing R&D.
well, the DoD and the those are how you want to put that. Mm. I believe for a long time there's been outside groups within the United States that control the government in such a way. I do not believe that it is ran by the political framework that we see every day. I believe it is set up in such a way where your votes don't count. Your um, Yeah, I mean, I think everything's planned by some group organization outside of the window, and they're the ones that want. If they want something to go one way, they can pull that string a little bit, and if they want something to go another way, they'll pull that string a little bit, and kind of like what Epstein had going on, but on a much bigger scale, and maybe Epstein was actually part of that, and it's one of the reasons we don't see all that. See, there's so many friggin' holes here. I don't know. But
Yeah.
you know when things started getting the worst.
Mm.
I looked into it today. This conversation, stuff like that. Of course, we always had the Roswell, but things started to get weird around August 15th, 1977. Now, for a moment, it's past midnight at a radio observatory in Ohio. A telescope the size of 3 football fields is pointed at the sky and doing what it does every night, sweeping for signals. There's no one there watching in real time. It's a routine scan. The computers log what they find, and in the morning, someone comes in and reads the printout. The morning shift goes through the data, and in the middle of a column of numbers that are normally quiet, hovering around the background noise, there is a sequence that stops this person cold. 6EQUJ5. That's not noise. That's a signal so strong, so narrow in frequency, so perfectly shaped to what a radio transmission from an intelligent source would look like, that the astronomer reviewing the data does something that doesn't happen in science very often. He takes his red pen, he circles it, and he writes one word in the margin: wow. This is known as the wow signal. The wow signal is that a signal lasted 72 seconds. It hit exactly the hydrogen line frequency. That's important. That physicists have theorized for decades would be the universal calling card, the frequency any intelligent civilization would use to say, we're here. It has never been repeated. No confirmed source, no final explanation. 47 years of follow-up speeches, nothing. As if someone knocked on the door once, very loudly, and then went quiet. I've been thinking about that knock for a long time now. And lately I've been thinking about what it means that nobody on our end knocked back. Or, what if somebody did knock back? What if somebody did respond to that? Now, before we go into this, the world followed 3i Atlas for a very long time. Everyone was entertained by it. Everyone thought it was an alien craft. Could have been. But it was strange. The makeup was strange. The chemistry was strange. They still don't know what it was. It was throwing off hydrogen. It had D3 in it. I mean, you don't get that unless it's from the sun. The early building blocks from outside the space hurling in here and causing all of this disruption of comets and asteroids and things like that. A comet seeding life across the universe. A chariot, a starship seeding life across the universe. Or new life to replace the old life. The 3i Atlas come from that portion of space the wow signal come from. Now, this isn't science fiction. All this is true. There are historical documents. I'm going to talk about some archaeological stuff because I do. And sadly, we keep coming back to some of the same things. It's because there's patterns. And I want to tell you that we're not the first civilization to receive a knock. And the last time it happened, humanity nearly didn't survive the answer. Now, I need to take you back a little further than 1977. This makes sense. Around 3000 BCE, in the river valleys between the Tigris and Euphrates, the region we now call Iraq, a civilization emerged that had no real precedent. The Sumerians didn't slowly develop out of nomadic hunters or gatherers the way the textbooks used to describe it. They appeared, just popped up, and knew how to write in mathematics and astronomy and law and irrigation and architecture and cosmological framework that could hold it all together. They knew what took us over 100 years to figure out. So they didn't just pop up. That framework was recorded on clay tablets, thousands of them. You've heard me talk about them before. And what those tablets described is a relationship between humanity and another being that we have talked about, and that is the Anunnaki. There is nothing like the religious mythology we're used to. This isn't about worship. A lot of people get all of these people, these Sumerians and Babylonians and and people who come after it, they get the idea that this was some type of worship to gods or people who thought they were gods. This wasn't about worship. This is about management. The Sumerian text described humans as a created labor force. We were made, according to the tablets, to do the work the gods no longer wanted to do: mining, architecture, and construction. Kind of what we're doing now. You know, we take on and do the actions of our forefathers. The word they use for this is Lula. Translated roughly is the mixed one, a hybrid. Made from existing humanoid stock and genetic material of the Anunnaki. Not created from nothing, engineered from something that's already here. Now, I want to be careful here, at least I'm going to try, because this is where serious researchers and credible YouTube channels part ways. I am not telling you the Anunnaki were aliens or from a planet called I can't talk.
Nibiru.
Yeah, Planet X. I am telling you that the oldest written civilization on Earth encoded into their foundational documents a narrative of external interventions in human development. That's what the tablets say. That's a fact. Now, what you make of that is up to you, but they're there. But here's what I want to focus on, because it's the part that nobody really talks about. If you go and search the subject on YouTube or look it up or anything, is that the Sumerian framework, the relationship between humanity and the Anunnaki, was not nullified. It was split. One side, Enlil, the chief assembly, lord of the wind and storm, gods who looked at humanity's expansion, our noises, our population growth, our increasing complexity, and saw the threat, saw something that needed to be controlled, curtailed, and reset. On the other side, ENKI, god of water, wisdom, and craft, the one who created humanity's first place and never fully let go of it, the one who, when that man's faction decided humanity had crossed the line, issued an order for a flood. You know, okay, what now, according to the tablets, it says that there was the official decision, and the information was linked to a man named, I can't pronounce that name, Utnapishtim. I thought I could, but I couldn't do it. I can't get it out right now. Anyway, you know him better as Noah. Now, ENKI didn't stop the flood. He didn't have the authority. The decision was made, but he found a way to preserve the matter. He disguised the information as a dream and told the Noah person through a reed wall there would be no direct confirmation. He gave humanity the blueprint to survive something that wasn't supposed to survive. The gods wanted a clean slate. Now, just hold on to that structure in your head, how it worked and everything else, because eventually we'll come back to it, or at least try to. But anyway, the structure is a decision made at the top by an authority that considers itself the manager of this planet to reset or destroy or fundamentally alter human civilization, and a counterfraction that leaks the survival instructions. That structure is going to start looking very familiar by the end of the show, or at least tries, because I think we've been having conversations with these for a while. Now we're going to jump back to 1977. The hydrogen line. It's not a human invention. It's the property of the universe. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the cosmos. When hydrogen atoms transition between two lowest energy states, they emit radiation at a very specific and stable frequency. That frequency is the same everywhere in the universe. It doesn't shift based on where you are or what technology you are using to detect it. In 1959, a physicist, Gillespie and Philip Morris, wow, what a name, published a paper in Nature arguing that this was the most logical frequency for interstellar communication. Any civilization advanced enough to transmit across the galaxy would know that about hydrogen. They would know the frequency. And anyone else would recognize that frequency and would realize you are capable of sending information that way. It's the equivalent of a phone number that physics itself gives you. The wow signal came on that frequency. The only time anything has ever come on that frequency. On the night of August 15th, 1977, whatever sent it was using the universal calling frequency. Okay. The signal lasted 72 seconds. That seems like a long time. The full duration of the Big Ear's observational window as the Earth's rotation swept the satellite, the telescope past the source. It didn't cut off. It wasn't interrupted. It simply reached to the edge of the window and then was gone. The telescope swept back. Nothing ever again. There, come on, wow. Go. It's 10:05. I'm sorry, my son's throwing a fit. Anyway, the like I said, okay, I did that. Okay. As of the last year, 2025, a team from the WOW project published updated analysis using previously unpublished data from the original Ohio SETI program. They revised the signal's peak strength upward significantly. They narrowed its location in the sky. They found two additional signals, 1977 and 1978, weaker, similar in character, that the original SETI team had noticed and circled on their notes, and they apparently decided not to make much of it publicly. Now let me say that again. The original team found two more signals like the WOW signal and circled them in their notes and didn't announce it. We didn't know about that until later on. The current natural explanation is this signal was caused by sudden brightnesses of cold hydrogen cloud energized by something like a magnetron flare. The researchers themselves say their work doesn't solve the mystery. It just sharpens the picture. The signal remains unexplained at the root. Now, I do find some stuff interesting about the WOW signal's timing. 1977, the same year the American government was running MK Ultra follow-up programs in secret. The same year Star Wars came out, and an entire cultural imagination got pointed at the sky. The same year, the CIA's remote viewing program, Project Stargate, was actively producing results that the government was taking seriously enough to fund. Don't you find all that strange? I'm not saying these things are connected. I am saying the year 1977 is a very particular year for a knock on the cosmic door that nobody has been able to explain. I am saying the peoples whose job was it to look at this signal locked it and didn't talk about any more they seen. That wasn't incompetence. That was a decision. They were told not to. Now, in the last 5 years, there has been an accelerating, everything has been accelerating sharply. A set of things has happened simultaneously that individually each would have a rational explanation. The problem is that they're all happening at once. They're all pointing in the same direction. First, artificial intelligence. We didn't get slower, getting better at AI over decades, and then gradually arriving at where we are in 2022. Something changed. The curve went vertical. In 3 years, AI systems went from novelty to operational development in weapon systems, medical diagnosis, financial infrastructure, and judicial recommendations. We built something we don't fully understand faster than we understood it, and we deployed it before we had the consensus on what we were doing. I found out stuff about AI the other day that I am not allowed to say online. I would get in trouble. Somebody would come here. I can't talk about it. I know it's true. I verified it. Second is the data centers. We are currently building computing infrastructure at a scale speed that has no precedent. The energy consumption is staggering. By some estimates, AI data center power demands will be the equivalent of several new countries' worth of electricity within a decade. We are pouring the physical resources of civilization into computing. Think about that. That is expanding faster than our ability to audit what it is doing. Third, wars. Not one war, multiple wars. Simultaneously. Ukraine, Gaza. The escalations in the Pacific. The proxy conflicts in the Horn of Africa. Wars that are testing new weapons. New autonomous weapons. New targeting AI. In real time, on real people. Ladies and gentlemen, the laboratory is open. Fourth, disclosure. In 2023, a decorated U.S. intelligence officer named David Grush, the one you saw today, testified under oath before Congress that the United States government is in possession of non-human craft and biological materials. He named the programs. He named the locations. He said he has been gone after, him and his wife. That's the reason he's doing that stuff today. Congressional members have access, with access to classified briefings, came out of those briefings visibly disturbed. None of this has been retracted. None of it has been prosecuted as perjury. The fifth, objects. In 2017, we got, and I still can't say that. It's the other space rock. The interstellar object. I was able to say it. I can't say it now. Anunnaki? No, not Anunnaki. That's the other thing. Anunnaki?
You're good, man.
Anyway, that moved in ways that violated our models for an inert rock. In 2019, Borisov, okay, a confirmed interstellar comet. In 2025, 3i Atlas, another one. 3 interstellar objects in less than a decade. After we never confirmed one before. We're either getting dramatically better at finding them, or there are more of them than there used to be. Because both of those options are interesting and disturbing. Sixth, the elite behavior. The bunker building, the private islands, the satellite communication infrastructure being built outside of state control, the relocation of financial assets into hard commodities, the synchronization retreat from public life by a specific class of people who normally compete with each other. And who are now making, quietly, I might say, in some cases, making the same preparations. Now, each of those things has an explanation. AI, competitive economic race, data centers, or an infrastructural investment. Wars are geopolitical. Disclosure is bureaucratic. Interstellar objects is astronomy. Elite bunkers are paranoia with money. But when you put it all together, you look at a rate of convergence. You look at what the ancient text said the threshold would look like. A species becoming loud, becoming unforgiving, reaching a level of noise that attract the attention of the old ones. You get a picture that is worth sitting with. Here's the hypothesis. I want to state it plainly. I wrote this as the test. The Sumerian texts don't describe a pantheon. It describes a management structure. Factions, competing interests, operational disagreements, and history of intervention in human development. The question that framework raises, and that the tablets don't fully answer, is did the intervention stop? I don't think it has. They go on to describe the Anunnaki observing from above during the flood. They watched. They had protocols. They even had protests. The decision to destroy was made through a process, not arbitrary. This was a red line or a threshold condition. You know, oddly, today when they were talking about the David Grush thing, they said that David Grush was there to set the red line, whatever that meant. Anyway, humanity crossed it, and they voted not to. They voted to reset. Now, what was the threshold? The tablets use the word noise, but in context, noise means something more than sound. It means a certain kind of complexity, a species that has reached the point where it can threaten the order. And this is the reading I can't stop thinking about. A species that approached the point where it can make contact, where it can reach back. We are, right now, building infrastructure to reach back. We have telescopes that can scan the whole sky in real time. We have AI systems that can process signal data at a scale no human team could. We have space observation systems. We sent that message in 1974. The first deliberate broadcast from Earth aimed at a star cluster. We have been broadcasting our existence unintentionally since we started using radio a century ago. Our electromagnetic signature extends in a sphere about 120 light years across. We are very loud. We have made a lot of noise in this universe. Now, if the Sumerian framework is more than mythology, if it encodes a real operational history, then there are two possibilities for what is happening right now. Possibility one of the factions is watching the convergence we're in, and the bunker builders know it. The elite synchronized retreat isn't fear of each other. It is fear of climate change, economic disaster. It's the fear of something coming from outside the system, something that has seen this pattern before, something that has a protocol for it. Possibility two, the fraction is running the same play it ran before the flood. The disclosure push isn't a leak. It's a deliberate question. The AI acceleration isn't an accident of competitive capitalism. The interstellar objects showing up in our solar system aren't a coincidence. Someone is handing us the blueprint for the boat again, showing us as accelerating speeds we need to know before the window closes. You know, wouldn't it be weird if Elon Musk is our new Noah?
Maybe. But here's the thing. He said, in the next time I will, 'cause he gave us the rainbow. And the next time I will burn, I'll burn you alive, essentially. And so, what do you think nuclear weapons are going to do?
Well, I mean, it could be nuclear weapons, or he could use the sun on us. I mean, you know, in the old days, it ends with a flood and a reboot. If Elon Musk takes civilization to the moon or to, they figured out the Mars was extremely hard to do, and they figured they should probably do it on the moon first. So I think they're going to try to put people on the moon, and they're going to try to put people on Mars before, if we look at it from this point of view here. That way, humanity will have a reset. Maybe the people in the bunkers will be fine. Maybe they won't. But the people who can really afford it and get on the spaceships and leave, I mean, you think about it. You spend all this money, you build these starships and stuff like that. You have 2, maybe 3 companies building starships, and I mean, you're not building these things just to blow up on the pads. And he's done made it into space with them, these big ones. I mean, hypothetically, you could leave now. Probably wouldn't be the safest bet, but you could leave now. I don't know. People do stuff for reasons, and this sure sounds like a reason. And I think by him going public with the company is part of the signal. He's slowly started opening doors to like multimillionaires and stuff like that. There was someone publicly said they donated not donated, they gave SpaceX so much money, basically buying a ticket to Mars. I don't know. I was saying there's people sure seen the one get off if they launch a starship full of millionaires, I know we're screwed.
Let's hope it blows up.
I mean, I know we're screwed if it happens. But anyway, guys, I thank you guys for putting up with us tonight. I'm tired. Tuck sounds like he's about tired. I am too. I'm tripping over my words.
Here comes my inner Wookiee.
Yeah. But join us for tomorrow. There was something I'm supposed to do tomorrow, but I don't know what it is. I'll still be here.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
My memory's shot right now. All right. Anyway, I'll talk to all you guys tomorrow.
All right, talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Stay paranoid, guys. Thank you for being here. Go watch the other videos if you haven't. There'll probably be some more. I'll talk to you later.